Good morning, everyone, and welcome. The other day when I was sitting down and started to prepare the presentation, I thought that I will just take the easy part first and figure out the title. And then I got into trouble because, opening Keynote sounds really, really grandiose and nice, but it's so lacking personality. And I think I will have to deliver a dozen more keynotes before I can have my name up there with ridiculously huge fonts. So that was out of the picture as well. So after some time, I thought that, okay, let's rather start with the presentation itself, and then the title will come naturally. So I wanted to take the efficient route forward, so I looked for the slide templates. And believe me or not, the only one and only thing I kept from the template is the title. Whenever I come to these local events, I can't help myself but to emphasize the importance of community. Community that you are all part of by using, operating, building OpenStack, contributing to it, giving us feedback, or just taking the effort to travel here and be here today with us to help building and strengthening this local community. And to show the value of it, I will do my best today. But before that, I will try to make some of you feel a little bit nostalgic, and for some of you who are new, just give a little bit of history and the road that we've been taken so far during the 7 years since OpenStack exists. So 2010, Rackspace, NASA, add a little bit of science, business to it, add a little bit of virtualization, noisy servers in a data center, and you get to cloud. And then open the doors to the public, and you get to OpenStack. Just a quick question before I would move forward. How many of you have never seen this diagram before? Just a few. Not even in Google, never, no presentations, never, ever. I mean, if you look up OpenStack in Google, I think this is the first thing that you see. Okay, so then for those of you for whom it's completely new, OpenStack was born in the enterprise IT side of the industry. It was formalized as an open source cloud platform, providing you the basic services, compute, networking, and storage on a standard hardware. And what you have with it is a dashboard and a set of, well, by now de facto standard APIs, with the hope that you can run whatever application you would like on top. This is where we started. One piece of technology and an infrastructure as a service layer software package. Where we are since then. How many of you haven't seen this one? Similar amount. I would like to say thank you to our gorgeous design team because the concept hasn't fully changed, but we still would like to give you another aspect of where the technology evolves when we are stepping a little bit further away just from virtualization and cloud, and saying that what we are giving you is a programmable infrastructure. We are not just giving you compute with virtual machines, but we are also giving you the possibility to manage containers and bare metal servers. You still have the storage component up there running on a common network. The dashboard is still there. The applications on top is still there. What you can see on here is some extra tools with monitoring and system management components. So this is where we evolved. And the importance of this diagram is that we stepped away from a monolithic platform. OpenStack is not just one big giant cloud platform anymore. It is a set of services from which you can pick whichever you would like to choose, whichever fits into your system and infrastructure, whichever powers your business or just everyday life. Pick it, use it, and come back to us and contribute if something doesn't fit well or you would like to just enhance it further. Let me, if the clicker lets me, jump back to 2010 a little bit and spend more time there. So as I said, we started with one component, which was our compute service. It provided you everything that I just showed you on the first diagram. It was simple and easy, or I think that's what we wanted to think about it. But then we realized that it will not scale. So we changed it a little, and the landscape looks something like this, but I would like to just emphasize the and many more part of this image. So you can still see the core services on this diagram, compute, storage, identity, and networking. And you can see that it is basically a box of Lego or puzzle or a set of constellations. You can name it however you would like to, but we are giving you a tool set to use. And it's not just a set of building blocks, but it's also an integration engine when we say storage or networking. You can plug in various number of backends to the system. You're not limited to just one choice. We would like to support as many hardware options as possible and as many solutions that are existing out there in the commercial environment as possible. So a little bit of summary. Where we started from, virtualization plus, the big noisy data centers, the question on how we can make cloud work for us, how we can make cloud work in our infrastructure, which means that mainly large companies were using it, like, for example, PayPal, needed larger teams and a little bit more effort to just start it and push it forward to work. And now with the second generation, with all the evolution of the technology, where containers are bringing us, where the virtualized networks and storage brings us, what we get is some automation, more flexibility, and dynamics in the system, which means that we can have smaller teams to operate this whole thing. We can have a bigger return of investment, and we have a broader ecosystem around us who's able to use it, and come and participate and build it with us for the future. So, giving you an example on where evolution brought us, I'm bringing out private cloud, but I'm not biased, so it's not an advertisement here. I'm sure I could talk about public clouds as well, but this will be more interesting. So, again, back to the data centers and the large companies. We had private cloud. Everyone had their closed doors and just try to figure it out, how to make the infrastructure work, how to make the services work, how to make it efficient. Just because the business realized that it's not always that easy, we also had hosted private clouds. So the service side started to emerge just to jump on the opportunity that was opening up in that area of the industry to help each other out. And what since then came to alive is remotely managed private cloud. By all the automation tools, but still the complexity around. This is a new service which is emerging nowadays, so you can see that as we so love to use the whatever as a service, I think it was pullover or sweatshirt as a service a few years ago in the Vancouver Summit on the Keynote stage, and I really wanted to sign up for that because I'm always freezing. So here now we have private cloud as a service. Who would have thought? I personally didn't. just a short time ago. It's just not really natural. And you can go and look at our marketplace at openstack.org just to look into that, who's providing which service. You can see up there that it is also public cloud and distributions, and we are trying to give you the whole aspect here, and each and every component of the system. But the thing that I would like to emphasize here is that how the evolution of technology shapes the business and the market. And the other thing that I would like to highlight is the increasing pace with which this happens. So you really have to be conscious. The only thing that doesn't really change is the importance of participation, that you're there with the group who's shaping the business by moving the technology further, as opposed to belong to those who are just follow the changes along. So if I would need to choose, I would be the one who's pushing this forward and makes the decision, and not just watch from the sides, because that's just not that interesting. So, showing you how it looks with numbers, because I think, or well, I got the impression that you have to have some big numbers up on a keynote presentation. However, Thierry proved me wrong like 3 weeks ago in London, I think. I don't remember these numbers there. So more than 50% of the Fortune 100 runs on OpenStack, hasn't changed, and I think the remaining 50% is just doesn't want to admit that they do it as well. What this means, we have more than 5 million cores in production managed by OpenStack. That's a very, very large number. And now that I'm talking about large numbers, I would guess that what you're thinking about is companies like AT&T's, Walmart's, eBay's, and so forth. But here, I would like to, again, just draw your attention to companies like, for example, Cindy Networks and OP5, who are also adding to this number, participating in the community, and just putting the effort into organizing a wonderful event that we have here, had here yesterday and have here today, just to build this community and bring us forward to the future. So, community, back to that part again. You can see infrastructure here, but it's not infrastructure in the technology meaning, but infrastructure for ideas as an open environment, an open and collaborative environment. We are working together on not just evolving OpenStack, but also to explore the environment around us, explore the needs, the new use cases, the new technologies that are popping up, and moving forward and ensure that our systems are flexible, providing us what we will need in the future for all those things like IoT, 5G, and I could mention a few more buzzwords here. And the great thing about OpenStack is that however many people, I think, when someone mentions OpenStack, thinks about the cloud platform, the code, the technology, but it's not just that part. It is a large group of people, thousands of people, each and every release, who are coming together and working together to build this software package, and also to share ideas in an open environment, which is, I think, really, really invaluable. So, we are all together, and we are not just internally open, but we are also looking for opportunities to collaborate with the large, broad ecosystem around us in open source. However, there is one logo up there, which is an odd one out. Who can tell me which one that is? Just one hand. I have a lovely sticker to give to the person who knows that. Yes. Great. Find me after. I will give you a sticker. So, Etsy. For those of you who wouldn't know, Etsy is a European Telecommunication Standards Institute. So it's really not about open source software development, is it? At least standardization for me really doesn't sound like that. But In the past, I think roughly 1 year, I hear the topic popping up more and more that how open source can shape how standardization works, and vice versa, how in open source we can leverage from all the experience and expertise of those people who are sitting in these standards development organizations. So what we started in OpenStack is to collaborate with Etsy. We had a very productive workshop in September on our PTG event in Denver, where we were exploring what they have, what specifications they have about our APIs, how they picture testing, interoperability, what's their view on that, what is on our side, which is already implemented or under development, or what we would like to do. We found several overlapping areas like interoperability, high availability testing, robustness testing, and just a few more things on the API side where like both sides need some additional work. And the point this whole collaboration is to speed up the process, how standardization works, leverage that we have working software, we have APIs which are proven, stable, in use, in production. I mentioned the 5 million cores that are managed and available to use through those APIs. So we can work together, and as opposed to spending, I don't know, 30 years with coming out with one standard, maybe we can spend only 15 or just 5, or maybe not even a year, hopefully in the very, very close future. And there you go. So, with all the collaboration in mind and the open environment, we are exploring the technology around us and not just exclusively to OpenStack. So we started a movement around edge computing. We had a short event in San Francisco in September where we had representation from the industry really all over the place, telecom, radio access networks, automobile, satellite communication, retail. The list is endless. And the value of the community, again, is that we can provide a space where all the representatives of all these parts of the industry can come together and spend time on talking about the needs, the requirements, and what technology fits these to make all these happen. To achieve 5G in the deadline, what we have, to realize IoT in the real life, connect all those smaller and bigger dots around the globe. We have this environment, and we would like to invite all of you to come, join, and participate, and explore this space with us, and help shape the technology and the future of the technology with us. Because together we are stronger. Although I will need some help soon if it goes like this. It's not just technology. We have academia, research, and science. And personally, I have to tell you that whenever it comes to like science, I get teleported back to my childhood where the world was all wonder and magic, and I don't really know whether magic is all about science or science is all about magic, but the point is that, for example, whenever I see CERN on an OpenStack stage, and I'm so excited that that will happen today again, I get back to when I was like, I think 3 or 4, and the first days of my conscious personality coming to life, and I saw the Christmas tree for the first time in my conscious life, and just the world stopped. All the colors, the lights, the smell, it was unbelievable. I don't remember the Christmas tree though, but I remember the feeling from the happy tears in my mother's eyes when she tells the story to someone. And I get this feeling that the world stops when I hear what, for example, CERN is doing, or many other organizations in the science area, just like mentioning medical research or all the discovery that we are doing out in the universe. And beyond being very excited about this, I think what many people forget is that by participating in this community and building the software that these organizations are using, we are all contributing to all the success and achievements that these organizations have. We are all part of it. And I'm personally, I get really, really inspired by knowing that scientists out there are using OpenStack as a tool to enable their research. They don't have to spend that much time anymore on figuring out the hardware and the technology that they need to use. They can focus more on their applications, the scientific workloads. And even if we need to spend still a little bit more time on shaping the software part itself to make it an even better fit, we already started to think bigger, which means is to connect research clouds all over the globe. We have a new initiative where we are talking about not just federating OpenStack-based clouds, but any research cloud around the globe, with the aim of bringing the researchers closer to the resources, no matter where they are geographically or organizationally, to enhance the collaboration in the scientific research area, which is, I think, very exciting and also very, very important. And we are all part of this movement and this activity, and we are all contributing to the success of that area. And I can also mention research. I just recently attended a European Union National Science Foundation workshop around radio access networking. It was a 2-day-long event, and I honestly questioned that, what the heck am I doing there? I mean, mobile networks, wireless, really interesting, but as an OpenStack person, what is my thing to do there? And I have to tell you that I think almost every presentation contained OpenStack in some extent, part of the core networks, and it was really exciting and fascinating to see. They're also moving towards shaping their part of the industry closer to the realization with using software as opposed to relying on hardware as they used to be, which is a very exciting journey to take. And I'm personally, again, very excited to be part of it, and again, inviting all of you to be part of it. Or academia. I know many people who are using OpenStack either as the infrastructure layer component for the various projects that universities have, or even in education itself, like teaching about cloud computing and that part of the technology, or having a cybersecurity class and using OpenStack to demonstrate all the cases there. And we are all part of this. We are all part of shaping the future. So there you go. I'm good. Oh, you're good. It's just one more slide. So, but you see, we are stronger together. So how you can participate. As you can see up there, many examples. Coming to this event is an amazing first step. What we have beyond this is keep attending, for example, local meetups. I'm sure that you have in your area one, or if not, then please look around you, see who's here, and start one. We have mailing lists where you can not just follow the technical decisions, but also talk about how to operate OpenStack, or just explore the users around you or around the globe and make connection to them. We have large events like our upcoming OpenStack Summit in Sydney in the beginning of November, or gorgeous, lovely, beautiful Vancouver in next May. Please come, join, participate. And if you would like to contribute, but you don't know where to start, we are also having a training called Upstream Institute. We had a training session here yesterday. If the students are willing to just revive themselves, then you can go and ask them how much they liked it. They told me that it was awesome. If they lied, then it really wasn't nice. So find them, ask how it was, and come and join us. We have the trainings before each and every OpenStack Summit, and we are trying to bring it to events like this one, just to help to build the local communities and connect people with each other and also with the community. So with this note, I would like to say that I'm glad that I can be here. Thank you for the invitation. I hope that you will have an amazing an amazing event today. And don't forget that I'm sure that the presentation content is amazing, but the really important part and the essential part of these events is to make connections. So talk to people who you don't know yet. Go ask what they are doing. Maybe they are having activities similar to yours. Maybe you can do amazing things onwards, or just you will have more people in your time zone and area who you can ask questions, and you don't have to wait for the lazy US people to wake up and talk to them. So please do that. Please come, join, participate in our community, and thank you. Oh, questions.
Thank you so much, Ildikó. Any questions for Ildikó at this point?
I was so eager to escape.
Thank you for a very good presentation. You lifted up about AST and OpenStack. My question is, what do you think is the challenges to actually fulfill the requirements for those community or for those standards?
So it is an interesting question, and what we found, for example, is there are specifications on the standardization side on how an API is supposed to look like, but in some of the cases, the specifications are not really linked to real-life examples. So when you are trying to present and just argue on the side of that requirement, it is really important to put it into a real-life use case, just to help the developers to solve the actual problem or challenge, as opposed to implement an API interface which is questionable that in what environment it will be used for what purpose. So I would say that it's a little bit still of a communication gap rather than any sort of technology-related issue or challenge. And I think by continuing the collaboration and facilitate the discussions between these two communities and organizations, it will help in the future to address these and maybe have this mindset more as part of writing up those specifications on the first place.
Any other questions?
Yes, hi. Thanks for the presentation. You mentioned Etsy, but what are the other organizations making standards around for virtualization and all this cloud-related platform and APIs?
If you know anyone, please point the person to my direction.
I was thinking CNCF, but I don't know if that fits as a standardization organization. Or
that's a good question. Well, as for CNCF, we are collaborating with them on the container and virtualization front. As for other more standardization organizations, not all the organizations are as open as Etsy, as far as I know, but from our side, we would be very interested in just exploring how this collaboration can work. And I think if the collaboration with Etsy will be as fruitful as it looks like, then we can use that as an example and also as a mechanism to build similar relationship with other organizations, just for the sake of the benefit for both of us or all of us. So we are looking into opportunities. Currently it's Etsy NFV, the Etsy NFV group with whom we are working closer together. And with Edge, we are also involving Etsy Mac, OpenFog, and these organizations. So when we are starting our discussions currently, we are already conscious about the efforts around standardization in that area, for example.
One final question. All right, thank you so much, Ildikó. A small token of our appreciation, an item for you. I'm just going to present it as it says. So the topography on this item was drawn by the world-renowned architect Arne Jacobsen from Denmark. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Again.